Welcome to another Franchise Hockey Manager tutorial video. This time we are going to be looking at scouting. So the first thing ideally when you go to have a look at the scouting is you want to go in, you want to go to scouting, and you really want to have a look at your scouts. So everyone that's employed as a scout will appear down in this section here, and on the left hand side you'll get a bit of an idea of how well you cover each part of the world. So as you can see here, Canada, we are doing pretty well. We are looking somewhere around about 13 out of 20. United States, again, 13 out of 20. And if you go into things like Eastern Europe, you'll be looking at around 7 and 9. I'm playing as Anaheim, so obviously if you are in England, maybe you'll get better coverage there, but maybe not as well in the US. First couple of things you probably want to do is you want to make sure you get a head scout and an advanced scout. The head scout increases the contribution of your scouting a lot more, so you probably want to look at somebody. If you go to ability, somebody with excellent ability would probably make a great head scout, so just pick him, right click, assign him as the head scout. And then the advanced scout role, similar to the head scout, again will increase the visibility and the contribution to the scouting coverage. So I think we will probably pick, let's have a look, Patterson for that one. And there we go. So that's the first two things that you would do. The second thing is you want to try and make sure that in the area that you are playing in, or surrounding areas, so for myself it'd be United States and Canada. As Anaheim, I would probably be looking at the Scandinavian countries for those extremely good Swedish, Finnish, Danish players. So you probably want to make sure you've got some decent coverage. So how do you do that? What you want to do is you want to go to your hired scouts section. You want to have a look, try and pick the area that you're looking in. So say for instance we are looking for somebody in the Western European region, and then you'll see their based in area and how good they are at judging ability of players and potential of players. So even just looking right now, Pontus Sundqvist would be an excellent hire. So just right click, you'd hire him as scout, you'd pick how much you want to pay him. It's a test game, we'll set him up for 4 seasons. Press OK, and boom, straight away these two regions have massively improved. So yes, you're now looking at 13 for Sweden, 12 for Finland, and the surrounding areas have improved by about 3 points. So you'll get better results in and around those areas. The second thing that you need to look into is scouting emails. Now, if you have come from a game like Football Manager, you will not get the same sort of scouting information in emails like you would. They wouldn't ping you an email saying, I think this player's great, you should definitely sign him, or I've had a look, this player's terrible, don't sign him. You'll get more than likely 2 types of reports, and I've got a copy of each one here for you. First one you get is if a scout has gone and visited a tournament, and we'll cover that in a little bit of how you assign those. And they'll give you a bit of an idea on how well each player has performed, who the most interesting were, and who played surprisingly well, and their sort of scouting knowledge will be kind of picked up a little bit, not massively, but they'll give you a rough idea of players that you may want to look into. The main one you'll get is a monthly scouting update, which will give you, depending on your area, things like best free agents, potential first round picks, there's best free agents there. If you got a weakness in a particular team, they would have had a look and looked at the free agents in these particular regions, and each one of these they would have done some scouting on. At the moment we're very early on, we're about 3-4 weeks into the game, so the information isn't brilliant, which puts us onto these letters. So if we use our farm team, the Gulls, if we use them as an example and we have a look at this player here, Scott Harrington. If we go into his scouting profile, you'll see that he is a capital D rated but a lowercase a rated. So that gives us a bit of an idea of how he does as a player. You can hover over it to get an idea of what it means. Basically, the left hand one is a rating out of A to E on how well scouted this player is. So as a D, he's been a little bit scouted, but not fully. So we don't quite know fully where he is in regards to all of his stats. We got back here, and then the second one is how likely the scout reckons that they are to hit their potential, which is that section there, the rated 1 out of 5. So they don't quite know exactly how well he's going to be, but they are pretty certain that he is going to hit whatever his potential is going to be, but that potential may change. And the more you scout them, the more this letter here is going to go up, and the more likely he will be to be as good as or as bad as they expect. Okay, so now that you know kind of what they're going to report on and where they're going to be going, you might want to assign your scouts to certain things. So the first thing is, on a monthly basis, you will get a email from them asking you to assign your scouts to certain things. Because I've kind of skipped over that notice to get here, you can also just go to Scouting and Tournaments on the 1st of the month and you will get this. So there are 2 tournaments going on, and you may find that there is a lot more depending on the certain time of the year or the league, but you can just go, right, we want this guy here to go there and this guy here to go here. Obviously I've just picked 2 random ones, but you might want them to go and check out those tournaments. So they'll do a little bit of scouting and you'll get a report on who's the good scorers, good goaltenders, most interesting players, and it gives you just a bit of an idea of who might be good. So once you've gone in and assigned those, the next thing to really look into is your priorities. So this is going to be looking at your scouts and making sure that they have got a set of work to go through. So the priorities tab here, you will see on this left hand side what they work through. So they'll start by going through the watch list. It's here, we'll cover that in a moment. They'll look at prospects. They'll go through players in their own league, just to get updated scouting reports on them. They'll look at the free agents, they'll do international tournaments, and then if they've got some time left over, they will do the other leagues. When they are looking at things like free agents, other leagues and stuff, they will then go down this list. So Canada will be first, then US, and they'll work their way down here. And then when they're doing the US, they will work down this list. So you can tailor it to try and make sure, you can just click and drag if you want, to try and make sure that you are covering a certain area if there is particular players in that area that you really want scouted. So maybe you're in, you know, the CHL and you want to make sure that your own particular team in the league, because you want a nice homegrown player, you can just move that up there. Okay, so once you've gone through, you've assigned, made sure you've got your priorities, but there might be particular players that you might want to look into. So maybe you've gone in and you've gone into the Liga, gone to Helsinki, you know, you've noticed that there is this particular player here. I would never be able to pronounce his name, but he is not very well rated. It looks like he could be a 4-star potential player. You might want him on your team. How do you scout him? You know, hit the right mouse button and you have to make sure that you pick this one, the add to watch list. The short list, just to make sure and clarify, that one there, it's just your own short list of players. You can set up multiple short lists for various different things, but it's just purely for you to keep your own reference there. But if you click add to watch list, it puts him in the list for the scouts to go and have a look at. And if we quickly pop back to Anaheim and we pop back to the scouting screen, we then go into the watch list, we will see that he is here. What we'll do is we will fast forward a month and we will have a look and see how his scouting is doing from not scouted. So we've returned 1 month later on and we now have a fully scouted player. We can see that it is, well, he's a little bit better right now than we thought previously. Originally we thought he was a half A-star ability player and we thought he was a 4-star potential. So he's gained a little bit in current, but he has lost a little bit in future potential. So we can also see that he is a C rated on potentially achieving that potential. So you got about a 50-50 shot on that one. And then if that is someone that you're interested in, you can then just go in and try and sign them. So that is kind of scouting in a nutshell. So just to summarize, first thing you want to do is just go in and make sure your areas are set up in the areas that you want to scout in. Again, dependent on the league that you are playing with. Secondly, make sure that you assign your scouts. Again, I'm on the 1st of the month, so I can go in and we can adjust it. So you want to pick a player, make sure that they're assigned to get a good idea of who is good in those potential tournaments, in those areas where there are players of interest. Once you've done that, you want to make sure that you are going in and manually scouting those great players. What you don't want to do is you don't want to go in, find this guy here. You might go, okay, well, he is a half-star, 2-star. I kind of need somebody. we'll take him and then find out that maybe he's a half star, 1 star, because he's not been fully scouted. So once again, you go in, you click add to watch list, and it puts him into your own watch list where the scouts will go through the priorities. Watch list is higher up. If you're not interested, drag it down, but they'll go through the watch list and make sure that those players that you are interested in are fully scouted. But we'll leave it there. We'll be back at another point with another video, but thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.